Let's move on to our last main stories of the day. Uh, this is kind of a quick one here because we don't have a lot more to go on this. It's just kind of something that's like been happening for a while, and it seems like it's going to continue permeating the horror film landscape. Well, a lot of film in general, but like horror film seems like it's been a hotbed for this recently. Horror franchise rights could revert to their creators in 2021. Now, this of course happens every year. There's a provision in copyright law in which an original work must wait 35 years before the creator can put forth a claim to obtain and reclaim the works that they created. So we've seen this as Victor Miller's new tactic for Friday the 13th. There's been an ongoing Friday the 13th battle between Sean S. Cunningham and Victor Miller. What this boils down to is Miller claims that since he wrote the screenplay for Friday the 13th, he inevitably created the franchise and that he retains ownership of it. Sean S. Cunningham claims that he sold or that he hired Miller to do the screenwrite. So he owns the idea and just hired someone to put it into words. It's been an ongoing battle, but Victor Miller is trying to reclaim now the rights to Friday the 13th, as they've been 35 years since it's been over 35 years since the original creation was done, and Miller's trying to claim that back. Another big franchise that we're seeing that right now for is Clive Barker with Hellraiser. Clive Barker wrote and directed the first Hellraiser. I think he wrote the second as well. And I think had a story and producing credit for the third and fourth films in the Hellraiser franchise. And those are really the four worth watching. The other ones were all other horror films that were, oh, hi, Spike. Oh, little Hellraiser. Those were all other horror films that were basically turned into Hellraiser movies, and very unsuccessfully, too. None of them are very good past four. I know, it's fun, isn't it? So I personally think, like, this Friday the 13th mess needs to come to an end, honestly. I want to see more films. We are in the longest, I think it's the longest that we've ever had without a Friday the 13th film. It has been 11 years since a Friday the 13th movie has come out, and it's never taken that long for a new installment. I, along with a lot of horror film buffs, are very interested to see where this franchise is going. The video game that came out was really cool. It's somewhere we're getting a board game, which is very exciting, but like, I want another movie. I want to go see Jason in the theater again. Hell, I'll settle for a TV show. If they want to do a TV show, I know that there was thoughts about that for a while. Put him in TV again, that'd be cool, because that TV show really wasn't a Friday the 13th show. As far as Clive Barker's Hellraiser, again, he had a stamp of approval on the only four worth watching. There was talk about him remaking the film or reimagining it for a new audience, and I think that'd be interesting as well. I'm all for Clive Barker retaining his claim to his work, and because Dimension, which I believe has owned the franchise for a couple decades now, they have just been making schlock in order to keep the rights. The ninth installment, I'm blanking on. Is it Revelations? Hellraiser the ninth installment. The one that has the new Pinhead, because Doug Bradley, who I met, is a wonderful gentleman, by the way. Love Doug Bradley. But he retired the role after the eighth film. The ninth film that was made, I think it was Revelations, basically was made for a couple $1,000s. It premiered one night in a theater for mostly the cast and crew, and then it became a very hard to find film after that. I've seen it. It's what's crazy about it is it's actually better than a lot of those other later sequels, but it's still not very good. It's a terrible movie, and they only did it to keep the copyright claim, because certain rights that are negotiated mean you have to keep making new installments or they revert back. So they've been trying to basically keep Clive Barker from this product for a while. I didn't see the film that followed Judgment, which I think was the 10th installment, but I heard that was pretty terrible as well. And I think just give it back to Barker. He's going to do something cool with it. The man's getting up there in years, but he continues to churn out some pretty incredible stories that really captivate the mind and ensnare the soul. And I think give him back Hellraiser. I want to see another one of those on the big screen, too. On the big screen, because I don't think we've had one since maybe the fourth one. I think the first three at least came to theaters. I don't know about the fourth one. I feel like it hit theaters. But again, that's what, the early 90s? So it's been over 20, 25 years since we've had a Hellraiser movie wide release. And I think we're ready for it right now. I think you could do something really special with that franchise if you get a unique voice back on it. So let me know in the comments section below, guys. Do you give a crap about the Friday the 13th and Hellraiser rights being shuffled around some? Who do you hope they end up with? Who do you want to see helm the next film in either of these franchises? Let me know down in the comments below.